Okay, yeah, I got it. Go, go. Hell yeah, that shit just worked. It's time to shine the torchlight back on Ancient Dungeon. Join me as I explore the new multiplayer beta and experience the thrills of Ancient Dungeon with friends. That's right, the multiplayer beta is now available. So let's take a look at how it's implemented. But keep in mind, since this update is an open beta and actively being developed, there's a very real possibility that all this information could change in the weeks and months to follow. But first, let's show you how to enable the beta. In Steam, navigate to your library and right-click on Ancient Dungeon and go to Properties. From there, select Betas, and then in Beta Participation, hit the drop-down and select Multiplayer Beta Test. And that's it. Now, let's look at the Metastore steps. You can do this either from your phone or logged-in browser. Navigate to the Ancient Dungeon page, scroll down to Versions, and select Multiplayer Beta. Easy as that. And let's answer this question right away. Yes, the multiplayer is cross-platform. And with the multiplayer beta enabled, it's time to embark into the depths of Ancient Dungeon alongside your fellow adventurers. So assemble a team of up to 4 players. Joining and hosting is similar to the experience in Walkabout Minigolf. To join a game, simply enter the room code provided by the host and join up with them in the camp. Whether you're a seasoned archer or a stalwart warrior, all unlocked classes are available for multiplayer, the keyword there being unlocked. While mods may work in some instances, it's recommended to stick with the vanilla experience for optimal stability. Upon entering the starting area, grab your preferred loadout and prepare for the challenges ahead. You'll notice some things like blood upgrades are disabled for the time being, and unlocked insights require everyone in the party to have the same ones unlocked to work. Once everyone is ready, the host can initiate the adventure, plunging you and your comrades into the heart of the dungeon. The combat remains as engaging as ever, and the transition to multiplayer feels remarkably natural. If there were any major underlying changes made to the game's core, I can't tell. The familiar essence of Ancient Dungeon remains intact. And while a few bugs have emerged, the overall experience is incredibly enjoyable. If you relish this game solo, you're going to devour it with a group of friends. The community's fervent requests for multiplayer have been well heeded. Exploring the dungeons with friends is an absolute blast, and the absence of friendly fire ensures a seamless cooperative experience. But how are the relics handled? Are they shared or individual? Well, thankfully, both. The beta introduces party-wide relics called shared relics, and the classic individual relics remain. This can really cater to diverse playstyles and strategic decision-making. The in-game menu has been tweaked as well. You can now view the entire party and everyone's shared or individual relics. You can mute if you need to and all that typical multiplayer stuff. We'll go over a bit more on the menu later. While relic drop rates remain unchanged at this stage, the developers welcome community feedback to refine the multiplayer experience. Anticipate encountering bugs and potential balance adjustments as this beta progresses. During my brief time gathering footage for this video, I did encounter a few bugs, but the community's enthusiasm and prompt reporting meant someone beat me to posting about them. One of my biggest concerns when I learned this game was getting multiplayer was if it would feel cramped, and I never thought more than 2 players would really work. I didn't want the dungeons to feel like the New York City subway. Thankfully, my concerns don't have a ledge to stand on, because larger rooms and spaces have been added into the game. This is particularly evident with trap rooms and boss arenas. There's plenty of room for everyone. These dungeons underwent some serious renovations to accommodate the extra bodies. But those bodies, they aren't always friendly. Enemies scale with the party. The more party members, the more enemies you gotta hack down. But there's a happy side effect to the more dangerous dungeons. More gold! More enemies equals more gold for the party. But gold is now shared. and while it builds collectively, it's also spent collectively. It's very possible right now to collect a lot of gold before the first shop and buy a more expensive relic. But that one greedy party member could leave the entire group with empty coffers or gamble it all away. So keep that in mind. So maybe you just let that greedy bastard die to some slime. If you do, they turn into a ghost, and ghosts can fly around. But fallen comrades are not lost forever. Reviving is done by sacrificing some of your health. You need at least one full heart to raise the dead. I've been told the health cost to revive someone is dynamic, and I think that makes sense, especially because late game, if a character loads up on total hearts, using just one to revive might be unfair. It's a great revival system for the game, but it could probably use a tweak or two. To revive someone, you just walk up to their ghost and pull the trigger. I could see this accidentally happening in the heat of battle, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of long press activation get implemented. If you get separated or the party splits up to cover more ground, you can open the menu and use the TP button to teleport to the selected party member. You can do this at any time with any live adventurer. The keyword there being live. You can't teleport to a dead party member's ghost. The game also now features some light character customization, and this is a feature I could definitely see growing. I would like cosmetics to be rewards discovered during a run. It could be cool to smash open a chest and get rewarded with a fancy new beard. Or maybe it could even be objective based. Hold out in a trap room and survive X amount of enemy waves to get a new robe. But remember, this is very much an open beta, and I think these things will come in time. Right now, the developers are probably mostly focused on squashing bugs and balance changes. In fact, there's actually a whole bunch of stuff that isn't compatible with the multiplayer beta yet. Stuff like saving mid-run, the shopkeeper boss fight, a bunch of relics, some enemy types, and more. I'll put the list on screen, feel free to pause and read through it. I would also love to see some more multiplayer specific relics aside from just the standard shared relics. Maybe stuff like allies deal more damage or allies get healed when you suffer damage. There's definitely a lot of room for creativity here. And the Ancient Dungeon devs have a great track record of working with the community, and I'm sure that will continue. And even if some of these things are never officially implemented, I'm sure the community will run wild with modded relics and hell, maybe even support classes. Overall, I'm really impressed with the multiplayer implementation for this game. It's exactly what I wanted. It's a great time to trek into the dungeons together. And if you already have the game, I encourage you to test out the multiplayer. Join the Ancient Dungeon Discord and give some feedback to help make this game even better. I've said it many times already in this video, but I'll say it again. The devs are very in tune with the community, and this game has grown and evolved based on that community feedback. Multiplayer only exists because it was the most requested feature, and I don't think this game is done growing. There's a good chance I missed a lot of stuff when making this video. We didn't get very far into a dungeon dive as we kept just getting our asses kicked. So if I missed anything, let me know in the comments. And before we close this out, let's take a peek at the game's roadmap. We see here the status of the multiplayer stuff, but we also have the PSVR 2 version at 95% complete. I'm just guessing here, but the devs probably want to polish up and finish the multiplayer implementation before finalizing that last 5% for PSVR 2. So if you're a PSVR 2 player, keep an eye on this game. There really is nothing else like it for the system. And if you want to know more about it, check out my other video, but do keep in mind, I kind of spoiled the final boss in like the first minute of that video. So check my pinned comment and skip around. And that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching, and if you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. With a small channel like mine, every single subscriber helps. Leave me a comment, and if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Thanks, and catch you next time.